Hey, good evening. It's Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous. Thank you for joining me this Friday evening. It is the very last day of March 2023, and you are somewhere in this whole process, or you probably would not be joining me tonight. The divorce process has so many different points and times and processes and can be very messy. And that's why I'm here to give you hope, to give you some tools, some techniques to really help you get through this and stop spending time and energy on living out the past, as so many people do going through divorce. So, tonight I want to talk to you about something I'm very excited about. I'm always excited about this because I just finished up a support group and did a hybrid. So I had people in other states along with people present in the room. And that is my topic tonight. Why should I go to a support group? What a great question. Why should I go to a support group? You've probably heard me talk about it. You may have been hesitant or thought, I don't know. Or maybe I tried a different one, and it's like, it just, I don't know. The people were peculiar. The leader was unorganized. So let me assure you, having done this for 17 years, I think I know my stuff. And also, I've had some interesting people, hundreds and hundreds of men and women going through this group. So I've learned a lot of different techniques of dealing with individuals, different personality, different points of pain that people are in. So I can assure you that spending time in a support group of Divorce Support Anonymous is going to be a time that is worth it, well worth the very small investment. So many people have said to me, you have got to raise your prices. I don't want to raise my prices. The goal here is to help you and to be able to eat as well. I do like to do that and have a roof over my head and a few other necessities. So I do charge a small amount for the 10-week program. But I want to talk tonight about that very thing of why you should form or why you should attend a support group. First, I want to share with you that April 11th, 2023 at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, I am going to hold my next support group. So this will again be hybrid. I have someone currently enrolled from, is it Texas? I think it's Texas, or is it Florida? I can't remember, but I'm getting the registrations form coming in, and people are registering, wanting to be part of this. And I want to talk to you about why you should do that. So when we start on April 11th, you're going to get a few things. You're going to get, first of all, a copy of this book, either this one or this one, which are basically, this was my first book in 2007. It was taken on by a major publisher and became this book. So I still have a little bit of stock of these. So I'm giving these out, but it's also this book as well, which is part of a whole series that has been published on Suddenly Single, helping you get through. So this book is going to help you get through the process of divorce because we need help doing that. You also get a workbook. So this workbook is going to help you. This is one that I developed, one that I've been using for the past many years, and it has proven to be a very effective tool. So what we're going to do, what do you do in a support group? Do you just come together and cry or stare at each other and feel the pain? No, you don't. What you do is you do some intentional healing and processing and articulating what's going on in your heart and soul. The great thing is you're going to hear other people articulate what they're going through, and you're going to realize, oh my word, that's what it is. I'm not feeling guilt. I'm feeling shame. In fact, that just happened in my last group. This woman thought she had all this guilt, all this guilt. And then she had another woman talk about shame as we were dealing with shame. And she said, aha moment, this is not guilt. This is shame. That's what I'm feeling. And from that, she felt empowered to give it a different approach and to be more intentional and work on her healing in the right place and the right space. So April 11th, So what we do is we go through 4 different stages, 4 different areas that we talk about in the 10 weeks. Talk about emotions. Talk about that first because that's pretty overpowering when you're going through divorce. And let me share with you that it's not just those immediately in the process of going through divorce. I've had people 5 years after their divorce because they realized, you know what? I wasn't intentional in my healing, and I'm realizing I'm wasting more time of my life by not being intentional in my healing. So we're going to deal with all the emotions, whether you're about to be divorced, you're in the thick of the process, or you have been 5 years since you've been divorced, but still struggling. I even had one person there who was 10 years after the divorce. He said that he was bringing in other people. He brought a couple of younger folks in with him. Um, but he actually talked as much, maybe even more than some, because he realized there were those areas in his life that were blocking and stopping him from living a full life. You've got to deal with it, folks. It's not going to go away on its own. You've got to deal with it. So we talk about emotions and then we talk about the decisions. What are the decisions that we need to make? And if you are someone who's in the thick of the divorce, there's a lot of decisions that you have to make. And if you're after the divorce, there's still a lot of life decisions that have to be made. So we spend some time, about 2 weeks on each topic, depending on where the group's at. I'm very flexible and we work with where the people are at. For example, my decisions group, I had some folks who were, they were all in the thick of it, right in the process. And we spent some extra time on decisions. And being a mediator, I can help you in asking the right questions of your attorney. Over my shoulder here is a free download, Seeing Your Attorney for the First Time, that I've shared with many, many people, free upon request. Shoot me a text. I will send that over to you. I do need your email address because it is a rather large file. That's going to prepare you. So we talk about the decisions. We talk about acceptance because until you move forward, you can't. Until you accept, you can't move forward. So, what are those things that you need to accept? You need to accept here's where I am financially. You need to accept here's where I am emotionally and spiritually and physically. This is where I'm at. And I need to accept that. And once I get a grasp on the acceptance, I can begin to move forward. I can start looking forward instead of backward. Wow, is that a great place to be? So let me just give you 4 reasons why you should join a support group. Reason 1, if you don't deal with it, it'll deal with you. You're going to take this baggage into your next relationship. You're going to find coping skills to give yourself peace in ways that are not healthy, such as drugs or alcohol or overeating or not eating or being promiscuous, and a variety of ways in which you can cope instead of dealing with it directly. Being honest with yourself and saying, hey, here's where I'm at. Now, where do I go from here? How do I deal with this anger, this betrayal that is so stuck within my heart and mind that I cannot move forward? So if you don't deal with it, it's going to deal with you. Reason number 2, you'll stay stuck. You'll just stay where you're at. Emotionally, spiritually, physically, you're going to stay where you're at. You don't want to stay stuck. Life is too short. There is life beyond divorce, but you have to be intentional. You'll stay stuck. You don't want to stay stuck. Have you ever met an angry person that you really wanted to be with? No, of course you haven't. That's why you have to deal with your stuff. Reason number 3, you'll jump into the next relationship because you think that's the answer. And you're not healthy, so who are you going to attract? You're going to attract unhealthy people. Oh, go to the support group. Get the support you need to start the healing. Number 4 reason, you can't do it alone. Try as you might, read all the books you want. We are designed for community. And although it was a person that hurt you, it's going to be people that help you. You can't do it alone. You need to join us April 11th, no matter where you're at. As long as you have internet connection, you can be part of this group. So how do you sign up? You contact me for a registration form. And you can text me. I need an email address to send you. Well, actually, I can text you the registration form, not my workbook, but I can the registration form. So you can connect with me and I will send that out. So, a couple verses. I always like to put in the spiritual part because this is a spiritual occurrence. This is a spiritual trauma. So, my program is faith-based. It always has been and always will be, because until we get to the heart of it, until we get to our own spirits and dealing with this, we're not going to heal. Not really. We might appear it, but we're not really going to heal. So one of the Bible verses that I love, in fact, it's on a little plaque in my office here. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He saves those whose spirits are crushed. And friend, I know that if you're going through divorce, your spirit is crushed. And you need the Lord close to you. And you're going to realize that even more so by being in a group. Another thing, El Roi. El Roi is a term for God, a name of God that says, God who sees me. Where you are, God sees you in your pain, in your betrayal, and you feel so alone and so despairing. I get it. I've been there. I totally understand. You need to know that God sees you. But going back to the point that I made, number 4, you can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. You need God to indwell the people around you in this group and help you identify, acknowledge what's going on with you, and then you can begin to deal with it. So you have a choice. You have a choice of wasting the years in tears, and it'll continue. That bitterness is going to just stay right where it's at until you deal with it and you decide to let it go. You can waste the tears and years. I know you're thinking, I've wasted enough years. I've wasted enough tears on this. I have got to heal to move forward. Waste the years or tears, or say, I've got to deal with this stuff. I've got to deal with it. I've got to face it. I've got to admit it. I've got to acknowledge it. I've got to allow myself to be in a vulnerable place so I can begin to heal my spirit. The anger, the pain, the loss, the self-value, the loss of self-value. It's huge. It's huge. So I would ask you the question, where are the places that you need healing? Where is it? Maybe you're stuck in the anger, or maybe you're still in shock, bewildered by what has happened in the betrayal. Wherever you're at, maybe loneliness is just tearing you apart. So how do you deal with that? Well, you come into a group and we talk about loneliness and how to use this loneliness, to leverage this loneliness to step out into our own life. So that's the reasons to join Divorce Support Anonymous support group. I also have another group that follows this, and it's called Life Coaching After Divorce. It also is 10 weeks. It is a time in which we use, and my workbook isn't here to show you, but it's another workbook that we use for those 10 weeks, and we examine all kinds of areas in our life, and we determine what we want, where we need to go. We work on a new life declaration, and we present not only to ourselves, but we declare to others our new life motto, our new life mantra, our new life. So I'm getting some emails there about support groups. That's awesome. So that's the next step after your support group. But first, we've got to get you through this. Got to get you through this divorce. And also, there's one other thing. And that is, when you come to my support group, I give you this book, 30 Days of Healing After Divorce. It's a tool to use. And you may be overwhelmed by the tools that I give you, or the handouts, the books. You don't have to, there's no homework. You go at your own pace. I've had people who are in such pain and shock that they can't do any of the workbook. They can't read the book. They simply just need to be there and listen. Wherever you're at, whatever stage you're at. You need Divorce Support Anonymous support group to get you through this. So I hope you'll reach out. I hope you'll text me. I hope you'll register. And I look forward to beginning the healing process. Let's get this healing started. Enough time, money, energy has been wasted. So I'm also a domestic mediator, and we'll discuss a lot of that, the process itself, if that's what you need, or the healing afterward. Wherever you're at, we will meet you there, and we will help you begin the healing. And I've gotten so many evaluations and reports from my group. And it's not just me, it's the dynamics of group that is so incredibly special. So with that, we'll call it a night. I wish you well. Please connect with me if you have any questions or concerns. This is Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous. Walking with you every step of the way through the trauma and after the trauma of divorce. Good evening.